Decision 2020, our coverage of local elections continues right now as we welcome the candidates in the 51st State Senate race. And we begin tonight with Republican Peter Oberacker here from Schenevus. And first, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
One of my biggest questions for you and your opponent would be really to introduce yourself, because for the past 40 years, almost 40 years, your district has really gotten to know your representation in Albany, with Senator James Seward retiring at the end of this year. So again, new face, new voice. Please just simply introduce yourself.
Sure, thanks. Local businessman, which I'm proud of the fact that we moved our company from College Station, Texas, to Schenevus back in 2017, kind of bucking the trend that we saw, here in New York. We do research and development and product development for food companies. And so we are now headquartered in Schenevus, which is a great place to be. I am a former town board member for the town of Maryland, former supervisor for the town of Maryland, and current Otsego County legislator, representing 4 towns in Otsego County. I chair the Public Works Committee, and I'm on some other, numerous committees as far as Otsego County goes. I've been married to my wonderful wife, my high school sweetheart, for 34 years. 2 grown kids, both out of the house. And so without looking for anything else to do, I figured why not run for the state Senate.
All right. Okay, well, views on bail reform. This is a hot topic. They run the gamut.
Sure.
Some people agree with the new laws.
Sure.
Some disagree. They're calling for amendments. What, if anything, would you change, and how?
The thing about bail reform that I found interesting was that it really started to take away from the judge's ability to judge, okay? The premise was that, those that were in the system that didn't have the money for bail, it was kind of a detriment, and I could see that point. My mom, who was a local judge in our town for over 25 years, understood and had a better read, if you will, I think, for those situations. And so one of the things that was disturbing was that it took the judge out of the system. And I found that kind of unique after speaking to judges and sitting on the Public Safety Committee for Otsego County, that it was changing the paradigm, if you will. So to that end, I don't agree with it. And of course, I think we have a lot of times unintended consequences from these laws and legislations that come out. There's no harm after the fact, kind of looking at it and saying, you know what, it didn't work the way we had planned. So why not adjust it back, I believe, to allowing the judges to judge. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The new owner of Remington Arms says they will bring back 250 workers to start at the Ilion plant, but of course that leaves upwards of 500 people without a job. When they call your office looking for answers, looking for the state to step in, what do you say to these people?
Number one, you have to understand their plight. We are going to see between the COVID and just economic in upstate New York in general, is going to be challenging. I look at it as being hopefully a facilitator, taking their plight, if you will, trying to look at what options are there. A lot of times it's communication. I mean, simply when we were going through through COVID, and we were seeing that there was a lot of the unemployment issues coming in. A lot of times it was just having somebody to say, listen to my situation. Can you help me? Can you help direct me? And I really feel like my association too with Jim Seward and his staff will be absolutely pivotal in finding those capillaries, if you will, to bring people together.
You mentioned COVID. In less than a year, we've seen jobs lost, construction projects halted, funding slashed.
Yeah.
On top of that, sales tax revenue.
Yeah.
It has plummeted. Your job going to Albany will be passing a state budget. Where do you prioritize your financing when you're going through the budget?
Spending by far. Being a former supervisor and county legislator, I sit on the budget committee for Otsego County. We have been extremely hit hard with our revenue side of our budget due to that. And the one thing I can tell you unequivocally, you can always find a way to better spend, okay, with your ROI, your return on investment. So let's look at the spending side of the equation. Let's take those monies that we can allocate and put those in areas where we feel we're going to get a better return on our investment. You know, the other side, the taxing and the revenue side, has a negative impact on our folks, and right now they don't need that. They don't need that.
Republican Peter Oberacker from Skanevis running for the 51st Senate District seat. We're going to meet Democratic candidate Jim Barber when we come back. Stay with us.